Hi everyone, thank you for joining today. This is the first video of 3 that goes over SAS Studio. So this first video will go through the toolbar, and then the next 2 videos will go over that navigation pane as well as the main work area. So when you log into SAS Studio, this is what you'll see. On the upper left-hand corner, you will see this toolbar. And then on the left-hand side, there is this navigation pane, and in the middle there is a start page. The start page displays by default. And then within the start page, under Getting Started, you'll see there's a new SAS program option where you can create a new SAS program. It says New Import. You click this, and it will help you import data through a point-and-click interface. And then it says New Query, which is also a point-and-click interface that allows you to generate SQL code using proc SQL. And then what we're going to go through in this video is this toolbar up here on the upper left-hand side. So new, this allows you to create a new SAS program, import data, and to create a new query similar to the 3 options under Get Started on the Start page. Then if I click Options, 2 things to point out here is that if you click Auto Exec File, this allows you to edit the Auto Exec file. So these are SAS statements that will run when SAS Studio starts. So for instance, if there are certain SAS statements that you find yourself running every time you use SAS Studio, such as assigning certain libraries, then you might want to enter in the live name statements here. So every time you start up SAS Studio and connect to the SAS server, these live name statements will automatically be run. I'm just going to click cancel from here to close out of that. Then if I go back to options again and go to preferences, Preferences allows you to set certain options for SAS Studio. So more specifically, some important preferences to point out is if we go to SAS Programs and then click Code and Log, this is where you can specify with each submission of SAS code, whether you want the log, for instance, to automatically clear, or I could select Append. By default, it's automatically cleared. And so for automatically appending the log, you can specify if you want it to append in both programs and tasks, just a program or a task only. I'm going to leave that at program and task and go back to the default of automatically clear log. And then other things to point out here, if I click results, here you can specify, so when results are produced when you run SAS code, by default, HTML output is produced, but you could also specify, you could check off if you want PDF output produced as well, and what the output setting should be, RTF or which text format which it would appear in a Word document, if you want Excel output produced as well as PowerPoint output. And then under editors, we click this editor options link. Then you can specify under editing options SAS only, there is a show autocomplete list. So this automatically auto-completes your code. So as you type, it will present suggestions for populating your SAS code. If you find that you don't like that, you can uncheck this box and then the autocomplete functionality will be disabled. This is a common preference that users find is helpful. And then another one to highlight is if you don't want to show line numbers in the SAS program, you can uncheck this box as well. But those are just some examples. And then if I click colors and fonts for SAS on the left-hand side, you can specify, if there are certain fonts and colors you'd like to use or different themes, and similar for XML code. I'm going to click cancel out of this. I don't want to save any of those changes. Other things to highlight, if you click tables on the left-hand side, you can specify how many rows per page you would like to save or show in the output, and as well as how many columns in the output tables. So if you prefer to see more, rows when viewing a data set. You might want to increase this. Similarly, if you want to see more columns, so you don't have to tab over as much, you might want to change that. Those are the main things to highlight, and then there are also more, options to customize tasks as well as a query. If you want to generate the Fed SQL code, which is for CAS, and then there are also options you can specify for when importing data. So I'm going to click cancel out of this. And then next, so if we click, so we just went over new and options in the toolbar. Now we're going to go to this middle one, view. So search, if I click this search function, so then a search window pops up. And so this feature is used to search all the sections of the navigation pane, which is on the left-hand side, these 6 icons. You can specify which sections and types of items you want to include in your search. So you can type in what the file, let's say the file name is test, and then right now it's just searching Explorer section navigation pane, but I can click options here and you could say, okay, well, I also want to look in the libraries pane, for instance. And then another feature under view is the submission status. And then when I click that, another tab pops up. Here under the submission status window, it will include an entry for each time you have run a program, task, or query. And you can use it to return an earlier version of a program, task, or query as well. And so like say I don't want these search or submission status tabs to show up anymore, I can either click it closed or I can go back to view and then I can uncheck search. But now let's go down to console, and so is what this shows. This window displays a list of all the messages, such as error messages and warnings that are generated as you run programs and tasks. And then I'm going to close this. And if I go back to view and then under navigation panes, you can customize what you want to show on this left-hand side. So say you don't want the Git repositories to show, you can uncheck that, and then that icon at the bottom went away. But I'm going to go back and check that off again. And then lastly, under view, there's this document recovery feature. So if I click this, this enables you to recover or delete files that SAS Studio has automatically saved. By default, SAS Studio automatically saves your open files. So I'm going to click close on that. And then open. This allows you to open files from your folders and folder shortcuts. I'll click close there and then save all. Save all is what this does, is allows you to save changes to all files that are currently open. So if there are any tabs that are open here, this will automatically save all of them. So you don't have to click, individually save each program. You just click save all. And that is an overview of the toolbar.